Thank you very much. Well, you know, for an impressionist, so many of the great voices in entertainment have come out of New York. You know, like the big three, which I call
Pacino, Walken, and De Niro.
I love Al Pacino, but is it my imagination, or is he starting to sound more like Louis Armstrong all the time?
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Christopher Walken has to be the most imitated man on the planet. It's like a disease.
De Niro's different. I'm not happy. I'm just not happy. Maybe it's because my mouth is upside down. Ha 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 ha.
Woody Allen is another, you know, iconic New York voice. I was reading recently in an airline magazine that, that, you know, if the universe keeps expanding the way it's going, you know, in 1 billion years, they're going to have to add 100,000 new area codes to the Manhattan phone book. It keeps me up at night. But there's another New York voice that you don't hear done, and that's Harvey Keitel. I never hear impressionists doing Harvey Keitel's voice. It's very strange. Why is that? Is it because he's got a small mouth? That's discrimination. I mean, he's in all those iconic films. He's in, Taxi Driver, and he's in Mean Streets, and Pulp Fiction, and Reservoir Dogs. I mean, you would not have Pulp Fiction. You would not have Quentin Tarantino if you did not have Harvey Keitel. That would be a bad thing. Also, if you did not have Quentin Tarantino, following this logic, you would not have the great actor Christoph Waltz. I think the chances are almost infinitesimal that we would have ever met him, regretfully.
Also, this Robin Williams, we don't think of him as a New York voice. He's sort of outside the solar system. Oh. But, he did. He went to Juilliard, so he's a New Yorker, at least to that degree. He went to Juilliard, where I believe he majored in ballerinas. Nothing in a dance belt for me, thanks. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, I also love Tom Brokaw. Tom Brokaw, is the voice of integrity. Demonstrations in Egypt escalated today when protesters stormed the outside of the palace of President Hosni Mubarak. Not exactly the guy that you'd want to give you directions on a dark night if you got lost. Oh, you got off the main highway, did you? Oh, here's what you want to do. You want to get back on, take a second exit. You got to go under the freeway. You got about a quarter mile, you got a bit of a dog leg. I go to the nearest gas station and say, where the hell am I? Well, impressions are good, not just for entertainment, but they're good practically as well. I'll confess, when I have trouble in the bedroom, I don't do Viagra. I do George Clooney. And everything works out fine. Of course, you should try it, but if your George Clooney impression lasts more than 4 hours, you should probably get yourself to a hospital and introduce yourself to some nurses. Another George W. Bush. How are you? Bunch of great Americans. I'll tell you, thank you. I'll tell you a little joke. You know why President Obama? You know why he had such trouble recently finding his birth certificate? Because he had Indonesia. Indonesia. Well, I think when historians look back at this age of entertainment, they're going to consider it the golden age of Morgan Freeman. And Morgan Freeman is so sensational, his voice is so relaxing, it's so rich and mellow, that he could be telling you the worst possible news, and you would take it in stride. Hundreds of carnivorous circus animals have escaped from their cages and are headed directly to your home.
Another great actor I love is the great Tommy Lee Jones. Who always looks like he wishes he had some other line to say than the one he's got.
And of course, the great Johnny Carson. We still remember Johnny Carson a lot. This is not my Johnny Carson impression. This is my impression of Kevin Spacey doing Johnny Carson. Very similar. Very similar.
Actually, Kevin Spacey is a very easy impression, too. All you have to do is numb out the bottom of your face. And suck all the sympathy out of your soul.
Not exactly the kind of person you'd want to have as your surgeon.
Oh, look who decided to show up. The patient. Hi. Are you nervous? Don't be. I'm not. I could care less. Why don't you just toddle off to the operating room and I'll meet you there. I'll be the one in the mask with the knife. Oh, you don't know where the operating room is? Well, just ask him. Oh, you need to know where the operating room is? Or you want to take down this hallway, right? Go around and make a...
Thank you very much. Thank you.